In this next section, I'll talk about the Preflop Trainer. So open the trainer from anywhere in Range Trainer Pro. You click on the Range Trainer menu here. If you're subscribed to the subscription Preflop ranges, this screen shows up first, except that you will not get this database button. This database button only appears if you're subscribed to the Postflop tool. I will talk about the database button in the Postflop videos. One of the things that we can do is we can hit show results. You don't have to do this, but let me show you what happens if you do. Okay, I've turned on the show results toggle, and now we have the drop down, and I can show results from the last 50, the last 100 trials, or all of them. Let's leave it at 50 for now. We select from all of our range packs. So in this case, I'm going to go to the Learn Pro Poker Raise First In Range pack. And now we have our list of effective stack sizes. I'm going to select 80 big blinds. And as you can see, for a couple of these ranges, I have percentages here because I showed my previous results. This helps you determine if you need drilling on some things or not. Like I've got question mark blocks here, and I probably certainly need some drilling on them. Add this depth, and that adds this stack depth, all the ranges in this stack depth. I've got a button here that says clear selected ranges. I can do that. I also have the option to add the entire pack up here. I never do that. That's too many for a 50-hand session. I won't get any individual area covered very much. So I seldom use that, but that's there for you if you want to use it. So let's go ahead and select early position, raise first in, and then let's close that drop down. Let's say we're going to drill early position from several different large stack sizes. So I open up the 100 big blind one, check that, collapse it again, 60 big blind, check early position again, collapse it again. And now to make sure that I've got selected everything and only what I want to drill on, I can go up here and see that I've got 3 ranges selected. Good, that's what I wanted to do. Another thing that I can do is sort by seat or big blinds. And now instead of seeing effective stack sizes to select from, I've got seat positions to select from. And the early position, you can see that the 3 that I selected earlier are still selected. Even though you collapse a menu, your selections are still active. I'm going to go ahead and untoggle that. Now, the other thing that you can do is randomize selected. I'll tell you what that all means in a bit, but for right now, basically, when you do a normal drill, it rotates around the table. If you randomize selected, it just picks random situations. So if some people learn better that way, I prefer to know where I'm at. But if you learn better by having random things thrown at you, by all means, go ahead and hit randomize selected. Now that I've got my ranges selected that I want, I can save this selection if I want to drill on this exact set of ranges in the future. So I can hit save selected. Now I can call this monkey early position big stack. Hit save. Now if I wanted to load a saved set of ranges, I can hit load, and you can see monkey EP big stack is there along with some other ones that I've memorized before. So that's another easy feature that you can use to streamline your process of selecting ranges. So what I'll do now is clear my selected ranges, and you can see that this up here will go from 3 ranges selected to 0. And now I'll go to the 80 big blinds and add the entire depth. So once I've selected the ranges I want to drill, I go to the top up here. I've got 7 ranges selected, and I hit the Go button. And it takes us to the trainer. It started me at MP2 80 big blinds. So let's go ahead and start doing some. So 7/4 suited in MP2. I'm going to fold that. And you'll note that it says correct up here and gives me a score of 1. Up here it says I've done 1 out of 50. I've got my session size selected to 50, so that's why I've got 1 from 50. Another thing on here is last hand, 7 of hearts, 4 of hearts, and I fold 100% of the time with 80 big blinds and MP2 facing folded to. You answered fold. So that tells me what I did. I did that correctly. So usually I'm not going to look that over, but if I get one wrong, I may need to look at that. So now if I do another one, 6/4 suited in the middle position, I think I'm going to fold that. Now I scored 2. What happens if I make a mistake? Well, let's take a look. Let's say at 80 big blinds, I I like King 6 suited so much. It's my favorite hands on the button that I'm going to go all in. A buzzer went off, and it subtracted 5 from my score and told me that I'm wrong. Now I can look here, and it says last hand, King 6 suited, 0 fold, 0 call, 100% raise, and 0 all in with 80 big blinds and the button facing folded to. You answered all in. So it tells me what I did wrong. I can immediately look at what I did wrong. Another button on here is the history. I'm going to go ahead and click history. And this is the last, it shows the last hands that I did. So you'll note King 6 suited. It tells all about it, including the text form of the range. It says that I got it wrong. And there's a view link here that I can click. I go ahead and click that, and there's my range. Raise first in range. King 6 suited is here. I should have raised 100% of the time. I should not have gone all in. So you'll notice that I can mouse over these, but I can't click on them. I can do anything with them. I can only mouse over them. So I go ahead and hit cancel, X out of the history, and I'm back to my trainer. So early position, 9-2 suited. Obviously that's a fold. King Jack of diamonds suited in the hijack. That's a raise. And I just go on and on until I get my entire session finished. Anytime I want, I can change the ranges that I'm going to be practicing on. I can hit the select ranges to train button, and it takes us back to this range pack selector. So I'm not going to do any right now. It's pretty obvious. It's the same as what I demonstrated earlier for selecting from which range pack you're going to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and close it. Another option that we have is that we can hide feedback. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that toggle on. Now, when I go through the ranges, it's hiding the feedback. So in the cutoff, 5-2 offsuit, I'm going to fold that, and you'll notice that it doesn't say whether I was correct or not. It doesn't give me my score, nor does it have that statement in the middle that talks about the hand that was just done. I unhid the feedback, and you can see that that hand information, as well as the score and the result, have come back. Let's talk a little bit about the hard mode. You see down here it says weights, and then in parentheses hard mode. I'm going to go ahead and turn that toggle on. And now what we see is a slider has appeared, and it says tells us to slide to pick a weight or a frequency percentage. So how can we use this and what does it do? Okay, in the small blind, do I raise the big blind with 10-5 suited? Do I do a small blind complete or do I fold? Let's put a weight on that hand. Let's say 50%. Now, at 50%, small blind complete, let's see what it tells us. Wrong. Last hand, 10-5 suited, is 95% call, 5% raise, and no fold. I only had 50%. What is this telling me? I knew that that would be a mixed strategy. I didn't know it would be that lopsided. How do we use this weight slider when we're always going to be wrong unless we get really lucky and hit the exact percentage that we're supposed to do this at? Well, there is a way that you could do this. You just have to accept being told you're wrong every time, but then look at the history and decide how wrong were we. Like here, let's say MP2, we get a pair of pocket threes, 80 big blinds. So we can probably raise or fold or call. I'm going to go 50% again. I'm going to hit call. I'm told I'm wrong. We would call. We would never call. We would fold 25% of the time, and we would raise 75% of the time. So the calling was completely off. So that tells me that that's something that I need to look at. And when I go back into my history here, I'll be able to see that I was totally wrong on it, and I need to check the range and study it a little bit more. Jack 6 suited in middle position. I'm going to guess that that's a raise. Let's say never. Let's say we raise 0%. That's wrong also. It's telling us to fold 100%. So you cannot get them right hardly ever. But if you get something close, that's a mixed strategy, and you get it close, then you've done well. You can consider that you understand that that's a mixed strategy, and you can use that for an exploit. So 10-9 offsuit in the button, I'm going to raise half the time. Told me I'm wrong. I'm supposed to raise all the time. You can use this feedback right here in conjunction with using your weight at 50% of the time to see if you knew it was supposed to be a mixed strategy or not. If you want to test yourself, if you want to see if you can get close to something that's lopsided in one direction or the other, just bring it over about a third of the way or a quarter, 25% of the way. So say it's 75% weight, ace 3 offsuit in early position, that's going to be a 100% fold. So I'm just going to leave it at 100% and fold. And I got that one correct. If I had put any weight on it at all, I would have been wrong. So hijack 9-2, fold 100%, fold. Let's proceed till I get one that's pretty close. Am I going to raise 100% of the time with ace 9 suited in the small blind? I'm guessing that that's a pretty mixed strategy. So I'm going to go to 50% raise. And I think it's approximately 50% raise, 50% call. I might be wrong. Let's see how I do. I got it wrong. It's 75-25. 75% call, 25% raise. So I got sort of in the ballpark. I understood that it was a mixed strategy. I didn't know what the percentage was. But for all intents and purposes, I think being only human, that was pretty good. I knew it was a mixed strategy. I called it a mixed strategy. So I'm satisfied with the way I did on that one. Now, right in the middle of a session, I can decide, okay, I don't need to do hard mode anymore. I've done 9 out of 50 so far, but I've changed my mind. I don't feel like doing hard mode anymore. I turn off hard mode. It got rid of the slider. I still at 9 out of 50, and I can continue to the end of my session. So 10-9 suited in middle position 2, which is the low jack. I'm going to go ahead and raise. Showed me I'm correct. And I'm just going to proceed with my session. Okay, I'm almost done with my session. Let's see 10-8 suited in the cutoff. Let's raise. And it says session complete. You scored -5 points and got 45 out of 50 correct. So I can hit OK on here. And because I got some wrong, I can go to my history. And it shows the entire session in reverse order, last first. So if any that I got wrong, as I showed you before, I can hit view and pull up the way I was supposed to play that hand. So now all I have to do is hit the X to close. There's one more tool here in the trainer that I need to talk to you about, and that is see a flop. If you're subscribed to the Postflop tool, you will see this checkbox right here. It says see a flop. If I check that, I will be able to play Postflop in this trainer. I will cover the Postflop Trainer in another video in this series. Let's have a look at a few of the other tools that are available with the Preflop subscription. They're under the Tools drop-down menu here. So go ahead, expand the list, and let's start with hand history. Click on hand history. It thinks a little bit, and then it gives me my training history for my most recent training. If you scroll through, these are all the hands that I've played. If you have the Postflop subscription, it'll give you the individual decision points. But here, it's the individual hands. We can see that I got this one wrong. With 80 big blinds in the cutoff, I got 10-6 suited wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and expand this. And it says the facing action was folded to. Here's the range. It was 80 big blinds in the cutoff. The correct answer was to play. My answer was to fold, and the result was wrong. I did not have weights selected. There's a view link here. I'll click on that, and it gives us a picture of the range. There's nothing clickable here. It just gives us a picture of it. So I hit cancel. I can collapse that. And let's go to one of the other tools here. Let's go to session history. Click on session history. And this is a history of all my previous sessions, going back all the way for several months when I first got the tool. They're listed in numerical order, but they're listed in reverse chronological order, as you can see. It shows me for the most recent session, I got 47 correct, 3 incorrect, out of a total of 50 for 32 points. This is a useful tool when you want to check on your progress over the few weeks or months that you've been training. If things are getting worse, you got more study to do, and you can drill down further into your hand history and see where things went wrong for you. We'll take a quick look at the last tool in the tools menu, RNG, that's random number generator. We can set the parameters of it from a minimum of whatever we want to a maximum of whatever we want. And when we hit run, it just gives us a random number between those two extremes. We can do it as often as we want. They included this tool for when we're using the hard mode in our training and we set mixed strategies. You can use this random number generator to choose which mixed strategy you want to do. Like if there's a majority and a minority strategy, you can use this random number generator any way you want, really. This concludes the section on the Preflop tool and additional tools in Range Trainer Pro. I'll see you in the next video.